Hi everyone, welcome to a
Ah.
early edition of Sunday Shift. Please make sure to like, share, subscribe, to tell a friend, buy us a coffee, all of the good things. Appreciation to Tanya for doing an early shift with me because I am traveling for work for the next couple of weeks, and so I'm gonna be on a plane the same time that we would have been traveling or recording tomorrow. And unfortunately, they don't let you record in the air. Otherwise. I'm sure there'd be a lot of podcast mics out in the sky.
Yes, we are Sunday shifting on a Saturday morning. Oh, thank you guys for joining us. So we appreciate all anytime you guys join us really, but when we're kind of off schedule, it's even more special that you guys are tuning in with us. So yay.
Very sure. Yes, we have glasses twins. So if you're listening to us and you're not watching, you need to get on. See the glasses. How are you? How was your week before we hop into it?
My week was okay. Actually ended my work week with doing tabling at a senior event.
Oh, cute.
Oh my god, I love them. And I know it's kind of maybe infantile to call them cute because they're older than all of us, but they are little and they're so sweet and they're funny. And I just love it. And
Mm-hmm.
like three of my favorite people in the world are over the age of 65. And so I love being there and just, being able to support them, living their lives, but also makes you really think about your future and what getting ready and what that means. And so it was the same, it was highly entertaining, but it was also like, oh, I need to get my life together. So I
You're
don't
so
know.
funny. You're so
But
funny.
yeah, I had a good time. And
Yeah.
it was close enough where I can ride my bike to the event. So I had a lovely ride, bike ride on the way there and back. So yeah, it was great. And now I'm just, the weekend is the weekending and I'm crocheting. And I've gotten into a new show called, it's not new, it's old, Daredevil Marvel. It's been out for a while.
Nice,
And
dude. You're
it's
so.
not new. I know, it's new to me. And I'm just like,
Uh-huh.
you know, um, for lack of
Oh
better.
no. I don't know if it's. I hope it's not my hotel Wi-Fi. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, so I was basically marveling at the show and I'm enjoying it. I'm only on episode 8, but it's a whirlwind. I went on threads and I told them, and they're all, girl, you need to watch this, and they gave me a whole program ready. So yeah, I'm gonna be binge watching that for a while. I'm still behind on everything else, but whatever. I'm enjoying
Hmm.
it.
That's funny. In the chat, we got Louie, our glasses twins, Math. Hey, thank
Yay.
you for being here. Emily, I'm sure your Olity hat is very cute. I love me some gardening garbs. Um, it's look, I love nothing more than like some overalls and a big hat. Ugh, my family's from the country, so I love it.
Mhm.
Louis, I didn't know you were in Texas, and I had no idea they were calling Telefrico, but now I have to look this up and see what's going on. That was like when I found out the right wing was calling Gavin gruesome Newsom, and I went on a rabbit hole. I was like, oh my god. And then Matt said she's on a GH break. Curtis and Jordan have caused way too much frustration in my life to be fictional characters. We were just literally talking about that. I was like, I am about to take my frustration on the world out on Curtis today because, woo. But let's hop into it. Tanya, who are your
Ooh,
performers of the week?
I got so into the conversation, I forgot to pull up my notes. So, yeah, I think I want to. Ooh, what I can remember is give a shout out to Swandi Wilson
Hmm.
because when Isaiah was talking about the loss of his hand to Kai, he got very emotional because
Yeah.
and it was good scenes and I enjoyed them and I've been enjoying him a lot this week, standing up to Curtis, not, and then standing up for himself and for Portia, just enjoying these last couple weeks with him. So yes, I
Hmm.
am enjoying Brooke Kerr as
Oh,
well.
the
Oh my
queen.
god, loved it. I love it. I love it when Brooke Kerr is able to play Portia standing up for herself, because when she does it well.
Hmm.
So black scrubs for the win. Also, um, love it. We I think I saw a social media post saying we miss Rory, and so when we got Rory, we got evil Rory, and it was great. No, evil Michael, and it was great. I loved it.
We got Michael being Carly's kid, okay? Because
Right,
that people were like, "Oh,
scheming.
it's a quarter main scheming." I'm like, "No,
Uh-huh.
that's some
No,
Carly Spencer bull."
basically he's a mix of all of them, and he's putting it
Sure.
in work. So shout out to that. Shout out to Amanda Sutton, and I'm gonna give it to her for merely 2 minutes this week.
Yes.
And it was the best 2 minutes of my life, and we will talk about it. Yeah, and then also, yeah, just for, and I didn't look up his name, but the actor that plays Kai, for being able to point
Oh
out to
yeah.
Trina,
Yeah.
he's doing
That's
really
good too.
well. And I loved him pointing out to Trina that her dad ain't shit. But we'll talk about it.
I actually have a lot to say about Kai and like some of the things that I've seen people say about that character and like the relationship. I get it. People want Serena back. Like people have not moved past that relationship. I think the show kind of abruptly ended it, all of that. But I think that Kai could be more interesting. I enjoy those actors, Kai and Isaiah together. Like that's a very unexpected duo for me.
Yeah.
Um when he was good at his job, like really showing that he's good and like doing what he needs to do. He
Mhm.
has potential. The problem was that the show never wrote him the way that he needed to be written. And so I don't know. The way people talked about him was like really interesting to me, considering that we talk about black representation, we talk about, whatever. Even if you don't want him with Trina, like there's something that people say about him that makes him feel like selfish or sinister, and I don't actually think that that's true of the character.
Yeah. So
But that's
yeah,
me.
the actor's name is Jens Austin Astrup. Shout out to you for hanging in
Yeah.
there. One thing that we can say about GH is they always find great actors. And so,
Hmm.
in general, what I've noticed is that, when they come on, sometimes they don't write them as well. And so we don't necessarily um, lash on to them in the beginning. But once they are given a chance, once they're given good writing, once they're given a story, then the actor can shine. And so, shout out to Jens for being able to hang in there and being able to shine when you've had the opportunity. So, yes.
Agreed. Agreed. Let's hop into the week. I thought it was an interesting week. I got frustrated a couple of times, but let's go start with Britt and Rocco on the run. So we didn't
Mhm,
see them particularly this week. We did see a video that Rocco sent Charlotte to her like school email,
mhm.
but we didn't see them actually on screen. But we do deal with the fallout of them running away together. And I want to know how you felt. So, they're at the police station. We got Lulu there, we got Dante there, and instantly Dante goes into protection mode when Chase is like, "How did this boy get a fake passport?" And instantly Dante said, "Oh, Britt gave him that." And
Right.
then, like nothing ever happened, Lulu picked up and was like, "Yeah, I found it in his room. I confronted him." How did you feel about that lie, essentially?
I saw a lot of people gave Dante flack for lying about where the passport came from,
Mm,
because what they found it to be hypocritical. Now, even if it is hypocritical, he's protecting his son, and I can see why he did it, and I'm not mad at it. But
yeah, I'm not mad at it either.
the only thing I'm mad about is that he had a better excuse than Lulu. What he
Hmm.
could have said was, um, Elizabeth found the passport in Britt's office, so I think Britt made it for her, because he had a witness. Lulu did not have to lie. Like, he could have actually told the truth in lying by saying it was found in Britt's office earlier by Elizabeth, who was trapped in the closet. So that you know all that. I know what you were thinking, but anyway, she was trapped in the closet. So I mean, he could have used Elizabeth to actually support the lie of omission rather than a direct lie, but in either, which I think would have been better. But I'm not mad at him doing that because
No.
he started from the jump wanting to protect Rory, so he had done actually worse things in doing so by hiding evidence, by doing all this other stuff, and I'm not mad
Oh,
at
Rocco.
all of
Got
that.
it. Got
Yeah,
it.
Rocco. So, Dante did other things to protect Rocco other than lying about the passport. So I don't know why people are so upset that he did this thing. It, it just goes along. He has to do
Yeah.
all the things. And he's expressed a regret about it, but he's doubling down on I'm standing by my son. So that's it.
That's it. And that's all. I agree with you. I mean, I'm fine with exactly how it went down. I'm not, I think the show has gotten so far away. Like they try to almost force you to feel a way about characters. And
Mhm.
it's like this good versus bad. And like they also don't ever want anybody to be bad. I was like saying this on my Twitter. I was like, the problem with the show is that they kind of just like leave things up to chance and they don't want anyone to be like the heavy. Like nobody can be all the way bad. Nobody can just be a villain. Everybody has to have some layers. And I think I don't know if it's the nature of social media and how people turn against characters. They think that characters can't handle it. But we see this across the board in all these stories where if they would have just written the story to be somebody was in the wrong, I
Mhm.
think it would have been better for me or easier for me to watch. I think that Brit is so out of pocket and they kept trying to like have people cap for her this week. It was weird. They had Geo say that like maybe it was okay. They even had Carly say, "Well, Britt would never hurt him." Britt taking him from his family hurt him. Britt even involving him in her life while knowing everything that was going on hurt him. And
Mhm.
it's particularly silly to watch because it's another example of them this not being like the way the show was written before. Like this is a fabricated relationship between her and Rocco. Rocco, like the last time Britt was here, her relationship was with Spencer. I think she maybe mentioned Rocco once to Dante, and he looked at her like, "Girl, please." There was not like this idea that she was close to him because she carried him. So now we have to like live in a world where Obrick is telling Lulu, "Oh, you're not his mama. You should have never kept him from his mama."
That was wild. Like what? Like I
Right.
don't understand. She's wild for that. And I think I believe Obrecht had one time or the other at least admitted that Britt is not this child's mom. But yeah, she's in the police room talking about you shouldn't have kept him from his mother, ma'am. Pick a lane, whatever it's going to be. Just like I really need GH to get over this idea of Britt being a mother to Rocco. Let's be honest. Rocco and Britt can have feelings for each other. If they care about each other, that's fine. But don't ever, like, we don't need to continue with this idea of her being his mom because it's clearly that's not the case. So I
Hmm.
think GH need to drop that the same way that they dropped the whole kissing cousins thing. Just let it go. you know?
But they've like quadruple, like tripled and quadrupled down on
Down on
it.
it.
Like
Yeah.
it's like they don't find this to be an issue. Um, and now they're bonded through this like being on the run together. This, like
Mhm.
now they're bonded through that. I'll say, Emily said Britt wants to be Rocco's hero. She is so desperate for a relationship. I personally, I understand how somebody could be a fan of Brit. Not particularly this version of Brit. I don't see it for her, but the last version of Brit, kind of post Jason dying, fake dying, and then her fake dying, we saw that character grow up. We saw her evolve. We saw her become like have a like a familial relationship with Spencer. We saw her become friends with Terry. We saw her be good at her job. We saw all of these things. And so if we can like say Ava and Nina can be friends, which doesn't make sense on paper, but they have those actresses have such good chemistry, we're like, I'll allow it. It's the same thing with Brit. Like it was like, okay, well, she's growing up, that she was good in this Huntington story. I'll allow it. They brought her back and they just completely regressed her. But they wanted us to like root for her to be in this relationship with Jason. And that's tough because we have her having this like desperate like relationship with Rocco, but she's talked to Danny twice. So I'm supposed to abide that you and Jason are in love, but you can't even be bothered to care about his son.
I think
It
she
drags down her and it drags
yeah.
down Jason.
And yeah, I think it's a weird mix of things where she's very caught up in her own personal issue, and then Rocco kind of fits into that whole personal issue to the point where she's not even necessarily thinking about Jason anymore. So
Mm.
it's like
Hmm.
not even not caring about Danny, but also not really caring about Jason at this particular moment. Because before it was like, oh, I need to help Jason, or I need to get Jason out of prison or whatever, and now it's like I need to get myself out of this mess, and apparently now I need to get Rocco out too.
Hmm.
So it's interesting, but yeah, I think right now I'm just really annoyed at the whole mother thing, more so than anything. So that's kind of my
Yeah.
focus.
Yeah, I mean, and that's why I'm not mad at Dante for lying.
Mhm, right.
Like he's mad at Lulu, rightfully
Uh-huh.
so, but he's gonna protect Lulu
Mhm.
over Britt, who
Because
he has always had smoke for, and I think that that smoke is deserved.
exactly, at this point right now, especially taking the kid. Woo! I don't know how she can come back from this, but GH will find a way. They always do.
They do. They're trying to soft. They're trying to like soft launch the way now,
Yeah.
but they want to tell stories. It's almost like the way they tried to write for Port Charles. Like you're not telling vignettes of stories, you're telling it's long form storytelling. So what she did in the past informs how we see her now.
Hmm.
So I mean, I'm not saying it will ever be okay, but it particularly is foul because you've already stolen this baby from them.
Right.
And then they're trying to say, Rocco gives this like Tolkien quote, the all who wander is not lost, as like his safe thing to say that he's safe and he's a runaway and not kidnapped. No, no, I don't want to hear it. I get it. I understand why they said like we're not gonna involve the FBI. That makes sense to me. But like she did kidnap him, and I'm not gonna get technical on that.
Well, yeah, I think when you're of a certain age, you can express feelings about a situation, but doesn't mean that what you're saying is correct or right. And so he's not a fully formed adult, so he can't still say, "I choose to run away," and have it be okay, have that adult not be responsible for the decision. So
Hmm.
she is a legal adult, and she took an a youth away from their parents.
Right,
That's kidnapping, period.
right,
So,
right.
I mean, there's no way around it. Even if he's like, I'm going to come with you, she has all the power in the world to be like, no, you can't come with me. No, get away from me. No, I'm taking. She could have, like, when he got into the car, she could have turned that car and drove to Lulu's and be like, all right, peace.
Or dropping off at Sunny's.
Or Sonny's or anybody, but she did not make that decision. So, as a consciously thinking adult, she's still wrong and she kidnapped him.
Hmm. And I
Um,
think, like I said, they want us to see the show in or like the stories in silos because the reality is, if Rocco left and people are already looking for, if the WSB already feels like maybe he did something, what's not to make Rocco think that they would take Charlotte? What's
right.
not to make, you know what I mean? Like, y'all are like, you leaving does not take your family out of danger.
Exactly. And that's why it's like not clear thinking. on
Right.
his
Especially
part
from him because he's
from it.
16 or
He's
15 or whatever.
16, and usually, I remember the most I remember from that age is that my thoughts being very myopic, very me centered. Not to say that I, didn't have empathy, but that's just part of the growing up is like when you're a teen, you think everything is happening to you instead of stuff happening in the world. So everything is centered around you. So you feel like you're the problem. I'm going to take myself away. And then that's it. No, no, no.
Hmm.
That's not how life works. And they don't fully realize that until they get older. And so again, it is on Britt to be like, look, this really isn't all about you, Rocco, even though it feels like it is right now. And I totally understand what you're saying. But you taking yourself out of the situation isn't actually going to help. But I think Britt is still in that teenage thinking herself. So she's
Yeah.
thinking, if she takes herself away, that's the end of the stuff. That's the end of the story, and everyone will be fine. No, no, no. There's so much more to this story than you too, Britt.
Right. Right. And that's that regression as like, so I put up on the screen the regression retcon hospital.
Yes.
I do think this is also a really good point. It says Brig is prop writing on screen currently. I don't see that changing. Same as Curtis getting prop writing still. And
Yes.
I think that for me is like prop writing is going to happen. The
Right.
point where we all call it out is when it becomes so obvious. In what world would Carly defend what Britt did? In what world would Geo think that this makes sense? Gio doesn't even know what happened. He doesn't. He just knows that Rocco was upset about something, and he was like, "Yeah, I mean, he was really upset. Maybe it was good that he like 15-year-old took off with somebody he's not related to, who he made. Like, what are you talking about?
Mm,
That is bizarre writing, and the propping actually, I think, turns audiences against something more than it feeds into it at this point. Like, audiences are really smart. I think the same thing happened with, like, for example, Jarly when they tried to have like Jason and Carly get married. Instead of just like saying, okay, they're getting married and whatever, they tried to be like, and Monica's happy about it. What?
yeah, and Monica always felt like they should be together or they're good. Just like what? No.
Like, nobody is like sitting around having coffee like, oh, I got the call, that's weird, but I guess I'll show up. Like, that's actually real life, and
Mm,
that helps people see something as not being forced on you. But when
mhm,
you have people like constantly like reinforcing something as the truth, as
mhm,
opposed to like a lot writing something that's the truth or letting us come to our own conclusions, I think that people, well, I know that I get really
mhm,
turned off from it. So
mhm,
that to me like makes a lot of sense. And then
mhm,
Emily brings up that like Britt assaulted Liz in the process. You saw Rick went up to the hospital and said, "What?
mhm.
We suing." He turned into that Jada Pickett meme. We suing.
Yeah.
So Rick was not happy either. And it
Mhm.
just, it, how in the world does Britt call with this thing and Sonny not be mad that she took his grandson?
I don't know if Sunny's mad or they didn't write it or they didn't show it, but I think what she did was to purposely put Sunny off the radar on what she's doing. And she knew that Sunny would be pissed if she ran off with her grandson. So all she said was, Pascal's involved, and I think,
Right.
and then, like, Sunny was literally the last to know out of everybody what's going on. But I think he like when he had that conversation with Lulu and Dante, he figured it out. And so, but we didn't actually get to see his reaction to the idea of Britt taking Rocco for some reason. Um,
Hmm.
but yeah, they should have written it in. They should have written in that Sunny is pissed that someone took his grandchild. And so it's crazy. It's wild. Again, it's this is all down to the writers. In my mind, I'm thinking, oh, Sonny's pissed right now, but he knows that he has to be calm. So he has to go and talk to Dante and Lulu to tell them to calm down. But I bet in the middle of the night, he was drinking and throwing glasses. Or something like that about all this. What we
Right.
normally would see. and yelling at
Right.
somebody. Because if they're going to go with this idea that Sonny gets pissed off at every little thing like he did with Rick, and the whole idea of lying to him that he's going to bring a gun to the confrontation, then there's no way that Sonny has no reaction to the idea that his son was kidnapped. But we gotta put it in our mind and ourselves and make believe it, because they just don't have time to film it, or just they didn't want to write it, or what, I don't know.
Right.
So.
Right. Well, this kind of does dovetail into, I call them CarVal. I know online they're called something else. I call them CarVal. Um, a little bit of drama between them. So last week we had this drama of Carly realizing that, Valentine's like, Anna needs something, I'm out. But then
Mhm.
when Charlotte and Danny come to them and tell them what's going on at Windermere, he pauses. He says he's gonna go like shut everything down. So this week we start with Carly having like a little passive aggressive attitude with him, and saying like, I should have never had any expectations of you, yada yada yada. Carly then has like a really good conversation with Charlotte. The relationship is like very reminiscent of the relationship that Carly had with Julie Marie Berman's Lulu.
Mhm.
And I'm interested to see if Lulu's pissed off at Carly when all of this comes out. I think that Lulu has a right to be pissed off at Carly. And Lulu's not my girl and Carly is, but I would be mad. Um, and Valentine sees this and is very impressed and is like, you should absolutely have like expectations of me. And he, says like he will always like Anna will always be Anna in his life. That's
Mhm.
not going anywhere. But like this was surprising. He did the little hand grab as she was walking away. I think they're cute. I again think that they're probably a bridge ship. I don't think that they're long term, but who knows? How do you feel? How did you feel about their scenes and like what's going on with them?
I loved it. I was only disappointed it didn't end up in a love scene, because that's
Ooh.
what usually happens with them. They get into this tiff, they have this back and forth, they fight, but usually it wasn't as strong as a fight that ends up in a love scene. Usually the fight is a lot stronger. We'll stomp away from each other and then end up back in each other's arms. So that didn't
Right.
happen, but it was still sweet. I loved it.
Yeah. They are very, I mean, I think there's a couple of unexpected like duos for me. I think that Kai and Isaiah are unexpected as
Mhm.
like scene partners. I think that Ava and Alexis are unexpected as a duo. And I
Mhm.
think that Carval is like very unexpected as like a romantic pairing.
Yeah.
That's just like thriving off that chemistry alone. So
Yeah.
I am enjoying it. I am nervous to see how it ends. I do like a forced proximity trope. And then when the forced proximity stops,
What
usually the book
happened?
is over,
Yeah.
but this is long form storytelling, so who knows what happens next. But
Mhm.
and I do love Vanna. So um, you know, the way that Valentine feels about Anna, the way that he has been in love with Anna his whole adult life is really different than the spark that he has with Carly.
Mhm.
And that's
I'm a
okay.
Yeah. I'm interested in what the relationship between Anna and Carly would be, because I feel like
Hmm.
there's kind of like this, even though there's tension, there's also like a grudging respect that each other has for each other. So I don't know how
Yeah.
that changes once Anna finds out about Valentine, and how
Hmm.
Carly's going to react to Anna. It's going to be really interesting. I'm actually can't wait to see it.
Well, I think that Fano's already back filming, so we should be
Yeah,
seeing Anna pretty soon.
I'm
We
hearing.
also know that Jocelyn knows that Anna was being gaslit.
Mhm.
So, this feels like it's going to converge at some point pretty soon.
Mhm.
Um, and I am ready for that next phase. I'm ready for Jocelyn to be out of Anna's panic room. And I'm ready to see how Anna comes back to her life. I really have enjoyed Braden's Emma, and I want to
Mhm.
see more of Braden's Emma with Anna.
Mhm. Ooh, and that whole conflict. Now the how Joss will react to Anna once Anna is back, whether or not, like, I kind of felt like it would have been great to have like an Anna Joss mentorship, And if that
Mm,
happens, what does that mean for Emma and Anna and Emma and Joss? Like, is that going to cause more conflict, or is Joss and
yeah,
Anna, or Emma going to be friends now, or what? We don't know. I'm excited.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Louis is saying that he doesn't want Jocelyn Cassius. I don't either. I'm not at all interested in that.
What?
I think he's too old for her. Yeah, people were like
Yeah.
shipping it. I think, yeah, I think he's too old for her. It's giving like Carly Lorenzo kind of, but not really, because at least Lorenzo had Carly on a luxurious boat. But it's like the very, like you have me captured and I fell in love with you. I think that he's like I said, I think he's too old for her. I
He's too
thought that Vaughn
old.
was too old for her.
Yeah.
I want her to be back within her age group. That's what I want. So
Yeah.
I definitely do not want to see her with Cassius, but that's me.
Yeah.
Um, we have a Jocelyn's a little too hot headed and careless. Yes, Jocelyn operates with the audacity of an heiress who's like trying to do some other stuff. I don't think that made it okay that oh boy it like brought her into the WSB, but she she is hot headed. She's Carly's daughter. It's very nepo baby. She
Hmm.
is Carly's daughter, but she's like not someone who had to grow up the way Carly did. So she has a
Hmm.
lot of Carly's fire, but she doesn't have Carly's experiences and hurt to back it up. So sometimes it's just a little snotty, which I like. This is not me coming for Jocelyn. I am okay with that. But I
Hmm.
do think that that is like a thing that happens with Jocelyn. Um, let's see.
While you're waiting, shout out to all those who are just joining us and happy to see us live and happy
Yeah,
and catching us live for the first time. Thank you. Welcome. Yay.
yay, we love it.
Yeah.
Um, Yeah, Emily says she wants Josh without a man for a bit. Focus on why you made these choices. I agree. I just and I've said this before. I think that part of the problem that in the way they write Jocelyn more than any other character is because Jocelyn's who she is. She's like a legacy and Carly's daughter and all that.
Hmm.
They don't focus on making her experiences cumulative. So she is not given the benefit of having a reason behind her behavior. And so when you have a character who's not kind of Miss Perfect and not like drama free, and then you don't give them the reason why they're not drama free, it becomes like really difficult for people to root for them. So like I said about the Cameron stuff, so if you remember back when she cheated on Cameron, it was like it didn't need to be that way. They wrote Cameron as being like exceptionally perfect. I'm not saying that she couldn't have cheated on Cameron. That's not what I'm saying. But while it was happening, they're writing Cameron as being the perfect boyfriend. So they wrote her as the slut girlfriend who cheated on her perfect boyfriend, who had the perfect mama, who had already had the drama with her slutty mama. You know what I mean? Like it was just, and it wasn't necessary. Like Jocelyn had something really personal taken from her through this video happening. People were like looking at her. They wanted us to believe, because whoever's in the writing room doesn't know how the internet works, that the video has just disappeared, which is not how that happens. But that the video just disappears, and apparently that's the trauma disappeared. And really, they could have very easily, and I've said this many times before, had the reason that her and Cameron were having like issues is because it was traumatic for her to be with him because of what happened. And then she got close to Dex because she was able to be sexually free in that position. So you still have the story of her cheating, but you have like some understanding behind it. I think the same thing could have happened, and we'll get to it with Portia. That like, yeah, she didn't tell Curtis about Trina. We knew that when they came on, and we found out they had a past. Everyone's like, oh yeah, well then Trina probably is gonna have a paternity situation, but you never gave us the why. Like these characters actually deserve to have the why.
Hmm.
So anyway, um, that was a tangent, but Y'all know I like Jocelyn, and I get frustrated when people come for her. It's my girl. I get other people don't. I get how people feel, but it's my girl, and I feel away when people come for her. We also have I forgot about this. So Sidwell suspects Lucas in the Marco thing. So like
Now,
this whole like maybe it was a scorned lover, maybe it was this, maybe it was that, and I thought when they were having the conversation, he was gonna catch on that it might have been Pascal.
me
That like
too,
yes, so
because
that was a
he
little good trick
scored
of the
lover.
writing.
Yes,
Hmm.
because
Yeah.
it's true. Not Pascal is the scorned lover that's upset and the one that caused his death. But now he thinks it's Lucas.
Hmm. Yeah. And Ava kind of like helped. And so like I wonder if Ava is going to tell Lucas that yo, you gotta be careful because your name has come up on the in the Sidwell stuff.
Mm,
Lucas is being very careless and reckless, and I don't know who he thinks he is. Like this sir is not it. They gonna come for you.
yeah, and you could have had Carly's help, but you didn't.
Yeah.
He thinks he might be a little mini Carly, but he's not.
He thinks he's smarter than her.
Yes. Dude,
He
I
thinks
mean,
he's
there's
smarter
a
than her.
difference. So he has a medical degree, and that's fine. But my mom used to say this all the time. You may have book smarts, but you don't have street smarts.
Yep.
And that's the thing. He thinks because he got the book smarts that he can handle anything, but he don't have that. So we're gonna see it. And he also has loose lips. I still can't get over it. He be telling
Hmm.
stuff that he shouldn't be telling. So
He does. He does. Um, I think I do wonder if his life is going to be in danger. So it also looks like, based on what Britt told to Sunny, him and Laura are kind of looking at Lucas as okay, you can be our in with
mhm,
Sidwell.
right.
So now they may be having Lucas working with Sunny. Like it's about to be a whole mess. And if Sidwell finds out that he's helping Sunny, he's definitely gonna think
Ooh, yeah.
that
Yeah,
that
he's
she's
in
working with Sunny to kill Marco.
yeah. Yeah. Ooh, that's gonna be a tangled mess.
And you know Sidwell don't play.
He don't.
You know Sidwell don't play. So we gonna see what happens. We do have Ava and Alexis, another unexpected duo, going out of town to like get more information on what Tara would call the loose baby.
Did she call it this baby?
She calls it the loose baby. Anytime people have babies that are not attached, she's like this loose baby. But we have them going out of town because they are trying to see if they could like find any of like Delilah's family, whatever, to like help with the adoption. So they have this road trip. I do like the way Ava and um and Alexis snark at each other. It's very similar to the way Alexis and Rick snark at each other.
Hmm.
Um, so I've enjoyed that. But long story short, we have another character come in. I don't really remember him. I think I remember him from One Life to Live. People were like excited about him being on.
I didn't know who he was, so I was just gonna let them have that. Because I'm like, I don't know.
People were really excited, so I think that
I'm
he's
glad.
known. But
I'm glad.
he runs another art gallery, and like first he pretends like he don't know nothing. We see him like go call Ethan, but it slips, with Ava being Ava, and they find out that he has a connection to Ethan. This is funny to me. How can Alexis not read people being a lawyer? Exactly.
How is Ava better able to read people than she is? She's not that great of a lawyer, apparently.
Yeah. I would
So
just say I don't particularly care about this baby story, and I hope that this is not the only thing they brought Ethan in to do. But we'll see. How are you feeling about it?
I would have to say the way that Ethan comes into play in the story and how Alexis and Ava found out gagged me.
Hmm.
And so it was like one of my hot takes. There's two things that gagged me this whole this Friday's episode, and we'll talk about the second one more. But it practically made my whole week. It made like it made the whole week worth it. These two things. So I was just like, what? I was like, yes.
Wait a second. Emily, first of all, we love Emily in the chat. She's always looking us up. He was in Grease 2. I love Grease 2. So maybe, okay, I was going to say something
It's
problematic.
you know
Maybe I just don't recognize him.
You know what's funny? It's like on threads, people are talking about how Michelle Pfeiffer is defending Grease 2. And I was like, why is Grease 2
As she
coming up?
should.
But
Oh,
I'm like, why
wait.
is Grease 2 coming up all of a
Wait,
sudden?
I didn't recognize him.
Oh, you looked him up? What character did he play?
Like, oh my goodness. I had no idea he was Michael.
Okay. Apparently I need to watch Grease 2
Okay,
again.
Emily, thank you. Thank you. I'm not even going to put this in the chat, but yes, that is what happened. No offense.
Did I
You're
even
aging just fine, sir, but I did not recognize you.
watch
Oh,
Grease 2?
I definitely watched Grease too. I hot take. I love Grease too. Wait, can you see him?
Oh wow. He looks totally yeah. Wow. Okay. He also plays
Also,
in
he
Dynasty
was
and
married to Tabitha from Passions. I loved Passions very much. Shout out to he's not ugly. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying
oh
he's
no.
ugly. I'm just saying that he does not look like, I mean, and he wouldn't, right? Because this was I don't look like I did. Well, I kind of look like I did from 20 years ago, but he just looks different. Not that he's ugly.
Right.
He's a very, you know,
Handsome man.
distinguished older man.
Yes. Yes.
No shade to him, but I did not know he was Michael because that was my boo
Ooh.
growing up. I had Grease 2 on cassette or like on VHS.
Oh,
Huh.
okay.
Okay.
Well,
Interesting. You
okay.
learned something. See, this is why you record live.
Right. Because you get that input, that
You
feedback, you're
and
able to
also shout out to all of my Passions watchers. First of all, the theme song had no business banging as hard as it did
for passions.
for Passions. Second
Oh,
of all, Brooke Hart, Queen, boom. Third of all, rest in peace, Timmy.
Timmy.
Yeah, the little doll, the guy, the cat.
Oh,
Yeah, he died in real life when we were
oh,
kids.
oh okay.
But anyway, the lady who played Tabitha also had like a little guest stint on Grays where she was still getting it in. So love her.
All right.
We'll keep moving. We'll keep moving. That was a nice little detour. Um, um so okay. Let's get into Miss Willow.
Woo! I
Oh, Miss
love it.
Willow.
You know what? My favorite scenes are with Willow and Sidwell because Sidwell be
So
so
funny.
I loved
Sidwell
it.
gags every time. Does Sidwell not gag her every
Every
time?
time.
Because Willow, she has forgotten that she is not as important as she thinks she is.
She is, yes. She thinks she's
She
the
thinks
architect of everything.
Babe is like, I'm the congresswoman. And Sidwell said, and I bought you. And what about it? Like, so she is like talking to Drew, and they are trying to convince us that Drew did her so wrong. And I'm not saying Drew wasn't foul. I'm not saying that. But what I am saying is she made decisions that we watched her make, And it's really difficult to buy her as this like victim that she is trying to like portray herself to be. That may be insensitive. I'm so sorry if that's insensitive to folks, but that has been difficult for me to like watch because we watched her do what she did. Like, I don't know.
The
It
funny it's not only the victim thing. She plays the victim and the boss at the same time. So she goes to Sidwell and it's like, okay, so it we can't have two men be in a coma and all this stuff at the same time. So we got to stop. And Sidwell's like, no, you aren't the boss here. And then, you're the one who caused this. So you have to do it. You have to deal with it. And he's like, and the funny thing, it's wild to me that all of this is happening in front of Drew. Drew's listening to all this, and Sidwell knows it. And he's like, dude, it's not like you were that great anyway. You were just like, and I'm like, gag.
just does not care at all. Literally, I put it up from Coach who said Drew
Drew
looked like a potted
potted
plant.
plant. He is a potted plant. He compared Drew to a potted plant as talking to him like he's a potted plant. It's like it's wild. It's hilarious.
I yeah, no, hilarious. And I loved when she was like, "We gotta stop." So anyway, we have her Willow dunking on him in his face, like, "You were a horrible congressperson, and I was great, and I want to keep this seat." And I'm like, I can't believe Cameron Matheson is getting paid to sit here. Good for him.
Yes, I think this must be no. I was just like, it's the actor's strength in him to sit here and listen to all this and not laugh out loud at the audacity.
Yeah, so she's like, making sure he don't atrophy. I'm like, Cameron Matheson has now skipped a arm day, a chest day, a leg day. This man is the buffest locked in person we have ever seen in our lives. I was like, is Willow lifting the weight for you too? Because you still snatch, sir. like, like,
I mean, with
so
someone that's in such good shape as he is, I don't think he's going to lose muscle mass anytime soon.
but it's
But
been a
yeah, it has been
while.
a while. Yeah.
It has been a while.
Oh my god.
And he looked like he still has his protein shake every day. He runs some miles
He
and
can
he
exercise.
lives.
Yes.
Cameron Matheson said, I'll sit here and blink all you want, but we not losing these games. We're not doing that. So, they like she's having this conversation with him, and then like as we said, Silwell comes in and she's like, "We gotta stop drugging Drew. What are you?" And so he finally is like, "Yeah, okay, do it."
He says,
And she's like, "Okay, so you got a plan?" He said, "He can't talk if he did." Like Sidwell was he was so serious about it.
he can't rise up against you if he's sitting there in a wheelchair. And then why are you trying to make this more of a thing? It's like it's in your best interest to keep him in this position. And then he was like, okay, fine, if you don't want him as being drugged anymore, then just kill him. I was just like,
I mean, like it's the expressions that he does, the exasperate. Like he's just like,
just
"What do
like
you want
fine,
from me?"
fine, just go ahead and kill him. Fine. And
If we
no,
were,
the worst part was like he gets a phone call and he's like, yeah, I have to take this phone call. And she's like, okay. She
go
was like, that means you need to leave out of your own house
out of
and
your
take the
home,
potted plant with you.
get out. I have things to do. It's like sometimes I'm like they be doing too much with Sidwell, but other times I'm like, but he's so delightful. I
Yes.
remember when he was talking to Big C and he was like, "We're not gonna kill this kid." Like, he couldn't believe. He said, "Listen, I murder 18 and up,
Right.
okay? Like, we are not taking this baby out." Like
Ah, yeah. Like last yeah. So that was
just
that
the
was
most
hilarious.
audacious. So funny. I think that's also why they don't have him and Sunny in a whole lot of scenes together,
Yeah.
because Sunny gotta be brooding, and he is so funny that he unnerves you. And so, like, if you're not a person he completely has in check, then like, what can you really do?
Right.
Yeah, Carlo
Right.
Rota is what GH didn't know it needed. He tickles me absolutely.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, sometimes I'm like, Sidwell too much, but then I'm like, but Carlo Rota, you can stay. You can
No,
stay.
I fully enjoy Carlo Rota, and I should be adding him to my list of actors this week too, because it was comedy. It was giving everything that I needed.
Hmm.
I loved it.
Yes. And so okay. Willow is having all her feelings and she starts crying. I said, girl, these tears do not move me. Suck it up,
It
buttercup.
really does not. I don't feel sorry for her. It's fine.
I will say, Katie does her thing.
Yes, Haiti is really doing a good job doing this.
She has done her thing. Like, imagine the range that she has displayed from like Willow when she first started to who Willow is now. And I think that that is why it gets so frustrating to me. So she is doing a great job.
Mhm.
Um, somebody said their guilty pleasure is Crazy Willow, hilarious. And then somebody else is like pointing out Willow is definitely Nina's daughter. Okay, now if you've watched this show for a long time, you know I used to drag Nina every week. But it's I like Cynthia. I think
Mhm.
Cynthia does great. I love that she's just willing to go for things. Um, I I think Nina deserves better than Willow as a player.
Yes.
Like
I think
I
she
think there's
deserves
too
better.
much.
I think she deserves better, but then it's also what she deserves because
Yeah.
again, she's putting so much energy into making Willow happy to the point where Willow is almost making a fool out of her, really. And it's almost like this is what Nina deserves for all the shenanigans she pulled in the past. And that she can't see that is just wild. It's crazy.
It's just also, but for me, it's just tough to watch like somebody who so clearly loves their kids like have
Yeah.
to go through
Yeah.
this.
Yeah.
I would have loved. I don't know. I just feel like I don't always want to see a cut character suffer. Like I want to see them have some sort of grounding force. And for me, like she just doesn't get that. And Willow is not that for her. So it's like Willow has done the impossible and made me be like, Nina deserves better. Do better by Nina. Can you imagine a year ago? Year ago, me is like, who is this?
But that's the problem. Nina had better, and she threw it away for Willow. She had
That's
Sasha.
true.
She
She
threw
did.
Sasha under the bus for Willow. That's why I'm saying she deserves this because she had a good thing and she threw it away.
Yeah,
So
you're
you
right.
know,
So we'll jump around in timelines because all of this stuff like adds up. So we're at the Quartermain house. Chase is talking to BLQ, and Tracy discovers that Amelia left her binky or whatever at the house, but Willow can't come to her house.
yeah,
So Chase will go. Like nobody even knew Chase was doing it, but Chase goes to get the binky to Willow. At the same time, BLQ put a pin in that, has a gift for Willow. This is funny. Hello, Tara. It's so good to see you. Nina and her
record
family
label.
suck as a staff, record label, and an MFA crew. West Coast, period. And so, Chase goes to the house, and y'all know how I feel. Chase has been having an emotional affair for way too long with Willow. It is out of pocket. Even this, like, consistently, like, thanking Willow for doing this. Willow making a little call for them about keeping a baby is nothing compared to Chase throwing away his career for Willow. These are
Right.
not comparable. This is the least that Willow could have done for them.
Yeah.
The very least. You're not getting
Very.
gifts, you're not getting the thank you. Girl, you maybe will get a sugar wish that I send via email,
Right.
the cheapest one.
Yeah.
Like, we're not doing like all this thank you. It's over the top. So Chase, obviously looking for a reason, brings his binky to Willow while, of course, she's crying.
Mhm.
And he is talking to her, and he's like, "Oh my God, what's going on?" And somebody put this in the chat, but I have to say, when Chase and Willow were talking, so she says, she's tired of being married to Drew, and he's like, "Talk to me. You remember when you used to come home at the end of a hard day, and I would rub your feet, and we would talk." That's cheating. If
Yes,
a
like
man says to me, "Remember when you used to come home at the end of a hard day, and I would rub your feet, and we would talk," I'm gonna ask, "What are we to each other?"
right. And then her response, "Too bad you can't rub my feet now." I had like in my notes, I had that emoji with the two eyes looking down, looking out that way because that's how it looked. I was like, "What are you suggesting? Like, is this something you want to do now?" I really thought they were going to start making out at the end of their scenes because it
They
was
did
just
the
like
equivalent of making out.
they were like holding each other hands, looking at each other deeply in their eyes, talking about the good old days. That's when sex happens.
This is also how Jordan and Curtis was reminiscing when Portia threw that drink at her.
Right.
Yes. Shout out to poor Misery. She said Chase is out here to Willow being like, "Do you remember the time we fell in love as well?" And he said, "I bet you remember." Like, that was Chase the whole time. Like, this was I was furious. And so Brooklyn comes up and she looked through the window because y'all all up in the open.
Right.
So Brooklyn comes through with her big box of gift, and it's like she sees it and she peeps.
Mhm.
Now, I will say that when Brooklyn came in, it was kind of like, "Yeah, you miserable bitch, you me and my man in love." Like,
I mean,
I
she
did
came
laugh.
in doing the wife 100%. She came in, she gave him a kiss, hugged down and sat next to him, and all this other stuff, playing the wife. I am the wife, sending the message, "I am the wife here,"
Hmm.
without saying anything. And it was great. But I thought that was going to be it. Then came the performance
So,
of the week.
Chase leaves, and Brooklyn turns around, and the Bensonhurst come out for real,
Mhm.
and was like, "If you ever, well, my husband,
So much as breathe.
so much as breathe on my husband." Which say I'll end you or
No,
something?
it will be the last breath you take, and then I will destroy you. I was gagged. It was it. It made my whole week. Everything that
Finally.
came before it, that was it. It was like it was maybe two or three sentences worth of script, but it had everything. It was everything we've been wanting Brooklyn to do for months, and it finally happened. Yes, it was the perfect Friday 2 minute. It wasn't even a cliffhanger. It was just yes. It was the yes
Hmm.
that we needed. It was the same as Carly's turnaround. It was like that for me. So it was great. Thank you, Amanda Sutton. You did it. I love you. Yay. That's all I
I
got.
will also say, because I know I saw some like conversation about like, I hope she keep that same energy for her husband. I kind of don't care. Chase is like out of pocket for sure. I'm not saying he's not. I would check him in very quickly. And that does not change the fact that Willow needed to be checked.
Mhm.
Willow has been playing the innocent. She has been playing on what Michael said was Chase's white knight. Da, 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 da. She has been playing on that. It's the doe
Right.
eyes, it's the crying, it's all of this. Chase is foul. He's the one who made like commitments and vows to BLQ, and I wouldn't be mad if she was mad at him.
Yeah.
But also, no.
Yeah.
Yeah, she did let that Tracy Q fly on her.
Right.
She did. And she let it out. And I think it was beyond time to do
Yeah.
that. Now I will say, oh go ahead. Go
I
ahead.
was like, I love the editing as when BLQ brought it out. Same time, Tracy Quartermain was like, I need you to understand that Brooklyn and her family is the most important thing. That was cool editing on the part of the producers. I love that.
I like that too.
Yeah.
So we now get to Michael's kind of drama with them. So
Yeah.
we have and we will put a pin because we're going to come to Black Hospital next. So we'll put a pin in the conversation that he had with Curtis. But Michael gets home while Brooklyn's there. He overhears Tracy talking on the phone about BLQ's car.
Hmm.
And he's starting to see everything is coming together for him. And he clearly understands that Brooklyn was the other driver of this car from Curtis and Jordan's accident. Now, mind you, still Curtis and Jordan's fault.
Right.
Let's never forget
Yes.
that.
Never forget.
And it also is like, so Michael's plan now is maybe, so he tells Jacinda that he's gonna like maybe let it be known that she did that, and then that way Chase will be mad, and then he will immediately um go sleep with Willow. That plan is very dumb.
Right.
I don't think that plan is very smart, but I'm not particularly mad at it.
No.
There for me is like this balance between I don't think Michael is right by any stretch of the imagination, and I'm still not mad at Michael.
Right.
Oops.
I think his plan of getting Willow and Chase simply to sleep with each other was fine in of itself. Having Brooklyn's secret come out, I'm not quite sure is enough to break up Chase. Well, it might be. He really thinks that Chase is more stuck on his white shining armor than anything. Unfortunately, Chase is really just stuck on Michael. And so I don't know if Chase is willing to break up with Brooklyn over this mistake, especially now that they are really trying to have a family and trying to adopt this child. And so I don't know, but I do think that just Willow alone, coming to Willow's rescue alone, is what will actually make the cheating happen rather than having pointing out that Brooklyn did something wrong. Um,
Hmm.
so I think his energy is better spent on making Willow seem desperate enough and crying to Chase. That will make it happen. But at the same time, it's interesting. I like the scene where Michael was talking about it with Jacinda because I loved watching Jacinda's reaction to it all because it made she was clearly like, wow, this dude is intense. What did I get myself into? But I'm here for it, so let's go. You know. So it was
This
just an
is
interesting
always
reaction.
this has always been my favorite thing about Michael as a character. And I
Yeah.
think for whatever reason people accept it from Rory, but it's that he is a very sweet guy.
Yes.
And if you cross him, it's not sweet.
Oh no.
And I think that that is like the dichotomy of who Michael has always been.
Yeah.
That if you let Michael be, he will be kind, he will be generous, he is a great father, he is a great son or a great brother. He is all of that. If you even think about, but he also is of the mob. If you
Uh-huh.
remember, Sonny shot Jagger, Michael cleaned that up immediately, took
Right?
care of it. You
I
good,
was
dad? I
like,
got you.
okay, whatever.
Like, Jason comes back. Michael don't, from the dead. Michael don't ask no questions. He get a nurse. He does the things. He gets it taken care of. That is who Michael is. What I do think that we should see more of, because they know in this show they have to show more than they tell
Yeah.
for our audience. That's for any audience. I think we need to see more people or more instances of Michael being treated differently or poorly because people think that he shot Drew. We've seen a little bit, but we should actually see it like impacting his life. We should maybe see it impacting his children.
Yeah.
Like, we should see a little bit more of that because part of the reason I'm not particularly mad about him and what he's doing with Brooklyn is that Brooklyn has never had his back against Chase.
Right.
When Chase was like, Willow deserves to see them kids, Brooklyn was like, you right.
Yep.
Mind you, Brooklyn has never, like, Brooklyn has always held down her family, particularly Michael.
Right.
Michael has always held her down. Michael's never asked her any questions whenever she needed something. If you remember when Dante was coming at her after Geo, Michael walked in the room and said, what was said? Who said
Who are
it?
you
Because
talking
you can
to?
stop. And he was like, and then Dante
Yeah.
was like, you don't understand. And Michael said, I don't need to understand. I know you don't need to be talking to her like that.
Exactly.
Michael has always been that. And so to watch him go through something as like horrible as what happened, and then to see Brooklyn side with Chase, I think that lost her a little bit of the like loyalty that Michael would have for her.
At the same time, though, he's not trying to see Brooklyn go down for this. He just wants Chase and Brooklyn broken up.
Hmm.
Because, like me, I don't like Brooklyn and Chase together. So
Mm.
that's why I'm like definitely not mad at what Michael's doing because I don't like them together. And so I agree with him in that she deserves better than Chase. So,
So Michael said about Chase, he is nothing but a judgmental, insecure man with a white knight complex.
mhm,
I had to write that down. What he said
right.
about Chase. And I think that that is true, and I'm glad that we have Michael now playing into like this beef because Chase always has some sort of one-sided beef with Michael about Willow.
Yep.
He would try to pretend like he didn't, but their friendship was never the same after that.
Yep.
Chase started saying Dante was his best friend,
Right.
even though when he came on the show,
It was
his
actually
relationship with Mike
Michael.
was Michael, right?
Right.
And so he's never given that up. And Michael's always been like very like Chase is a good guy. He's always been distant. He's always let Chase have his feelings. He never said anything about whatever. I think he might have said one time to him, I miss our friendship or something like that. But other than that, he's never really turned up on Chase. So to have Chase like basically assume and for Brooklyn to be like standing beside him while he assumed that the worst of Michael, that Michael was like trying to take Willow's kids, that Michael would frame Willow for murder. Because Chase wasn't just saying that, oh, Willow didn't do it. Chase said Michael did it and then tried to frame Willow
Mhm.
and has put hands on Michael first, two separate times, and
Yeah.
Brooklyn has kind of done nothing about it and was just
Right.
like, well, let's have a baby, this baby that we found.
Right.
So to me, again, I do think it's like, yeah, do I agree with what Michael's doing? No. But do I think it's a good idea? No. But am I mad at Michael? Does this like change how I feel about Michael as a character? Also, no.
Mhm.
Y'all gotta let us know in the chat how y'all feel about it. I think that I am anti Chase, which makes me anti Chillin because I think that
Mhm.
Brooklyn deserves better, and Tanya doesn't like Chase from Brooklyn. So we are
And then
happy to think that we may be biased on that. So you gotta let us know in the chat how y'all feel.
I want you to post Medora's comment. She said, "I want Chase to get found out about Drew." Let me scroll back up. Yeah,
Oh, right here.
no, yeah. I want that. So I kind of do that too. I want him to realize how wrong he was about Willow. But I want Michael's revenge plot to work before that happens. So I want him to break up with Brooklyn, all high and mighty, righteous and everything, get back together with Willow, and then find out that Willow is actually the culprit and then lose everything. That's what I want. That's the
Mm,
order I want it to happen.
period. And here comes Tara with, this is why she getting the PhD. She said, Brooklyn, it's the analytics, it's the skills.
Yeah.
Brooklyn needs to realize that Willow gets the benefit of the doubt from Chase that she doesn't.
Right.
Never has, because Chase and Brooklyn are enemies to lovers, and
Right.
Chillo was a white knight
White Knight
rescue
Rescue
story.
Story. That's true.
That is very. I would have never put it that way, but that is so smart. That's exactly it, because it's the same reason that he gives Willow every benefit of the doubt, but when Brooklyn almost forgot to write a letter for him,
He
like
was
their
so
relationship was
pissed.
over.
Yeah.
That she basically had to like come back begging that man.
So maybe that's why Michael's actual plan might work, because he really he never gives Brooklyn the benefit of the doubt.
Hmm.
And he would go, and then once he's broken up with Brooklyn, he'll run to Willow and be like, "This is the woman who deserves my white knighthood."
Hmm.
And yes, okay. Whatever way it happens, whether it's because, Chase finds out about Brooklyn, or it's just because Chase and Willow just really want each other. I just want it to happen. So,
And then we have Coach saying, "I want to see the wrath of Tracy concerning Chase hurting her granddaughter." I think that's interesting, but I also want to know if she's gonna have the wrath for Michael, because I think that like
that's
the
true.
idea that Michael has that like, oh, I can do this and Brooklyn will just gonna like that's gambling a lot with Brooklyn's future when you don't
Mhm.
know.
And I think that's something that that Tracy wouldn't respect, is cousins going after cousins, even though that's what she's been doing. She would go for her brother all the time. So I don't know why she would be hypocritical about it, but she has no right to be hypocritical about it.
Hmm.
Uh-huh.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Marla said that Michael's showing his Edward Quartermain side. I think that we had said his Carly side. That's
Yeah.
the beauty of a character like Michael. This is a Quartermain raised by the mob, also
Mhm.
raised by Carly Spencer.
Yes.
Like all of these things are true for him, and
Yes.
and for Michael, they never talk about like he's related to Luke. He's related to like there's like real like historical context, if you
Yes.
will. Like what is it? Genealogy for why Michael would be kind of messy,
He's a
and
Spencer, a Quartermain, and a Corinthos. Nature, nurture, everything all mixed to one. It's just like
right.
it's crazy.
Um, Here we go. We got Matt saying, "I'm a Chilean fan, still holding out hope. Willow deserves no love. It needs to be in Ferncliff or Pentonville." I got you. I'm a fan of Brooklyn. And when Chase
Yeah.
was like simping for Brooklyn and making Brooklyn happy, I was a fan. I feel like he has been disrespectful to her. And even if they are in game and they come back to each other, I feel like he needs to be begging. I feel like he needs to feel bad. All of that.
Yeah.
Because he's been extremely wrong, and how wrong he's been has impacted so many lives. So that's kind of where I stand on Chase.
Mm-hmm.
So we will see. I'm interested to see what Michael does with all of this information. Um, let's talk Black Hospital. Your face. Ooh. Okay. So the DA was, had to be taught into doing her job by Sunny. And she does this interview with Black Scrubs. And I didn't like how she did it. She was very like adversarial to them in a way that didn't make sense to me. And when Isaiah gave like his statement, he's sitting there with Portia, and she looks at Portia like, "Is that correct?" Like, but it was very much like almost daring Portia to like have a different recollection of what happened. And when he asked what happened, instead, like she was not behaving as somebody who would have who she's not behaving as like the DA should have behaved. And her knowing that she's friends with Portia, or I'm sorry, with Jordan and all of that, she should have just recused herself.
True. Um, I mean, she wasn't right in the way she did it. And you're right, she should have recused herself. At the same time, I wasn't surprised because she's trying to at the same she's trying to say, okay, I'm gonna go and do my job and just investigate this. But she didn't want to do it. She, as Jordan's friend, she didn't want to actually find a reason or have a reason to go after Curtis. But she did it. And I have to um, respect the fact that she actually did the right thing and press charges against Curtis, all the while kicking and screaming. Apparently,
She had
she
no
she had
she had
no
no
other
other option.
choice. Yeah, and so she had to investigate it, and then that's what happened. Um, I was actually very glad to see that she announced it, and Curtis was there. So I loved it.
I This story is so hard for me because my own personal politic, I don't believe in
Right.
police and prisons. So I'm
Yes.
like, me being looking at the screen like lock him up is very unlike me.
Yes.
And I should also enjoy this story because Curtis is operating with the full audacity of a rich white man.
He is giving Drew, and I can totally see why they were besties because
Yes. He's
he's
like,
acting
what?
just
He's
like
like, I don't have
Drew.
a lawyer. I don't think I should be charged. I don't want to be charged. I don't like just like no understanding of being like a black man with like connections or like who could be charged with something. No
Right.
under like I don't know if it's because he like punched another black man he thinks is fine, but he is not concerned at all about any of this, and it's so bizarre. He's like, yeah, I think he's telling Michael, I think I can like convince them I was provoked. You do not get to put your hands on people.
It don't matter if you were provoked, homie. And the funny thing is like for me, I'm like the fact that he questions why Isaiah would not give up evidence that didn't really actually wasn't evidence, but he's like, why didn't he just talk to the police and tell the truth? Why did he, do this? I was like, because he's a black man who does not trust police. You of all people should understand that. Yet he's like leaning into this whole law and order theory, and yet also feels that he has the right to manipulate the law and order for his own gain. It's just like wild. I think the character of Curtis is an Aquarius man because they have that audacity. And I can say that as an Aquarius woman because I was raised by an Aquarian man who has that same audacity. And I'm just like, man. Anyway.
That's so funny. I think, I would have liked for, you know, um, him to talk to Trina about this and to be like, I don't know why he didn't do this. I don't know why he didn't do that. So that Trina could have said, well, and looked at Jordan when she said it,
Uh-huh.
when I gave a phone over that I didn't think was going to be real evidence because I didn't do anything. I was
I
on
got
the
caught
trial
up.
for my life.
Right. Exactly. But I
My,
don't
my
know
life
if
was
Trina,
almost ruined by that.
but I don't know if the Trina that we currently have would have done that because the
Well,
Trina that we have listened to this man say, asked him, like, what is your evidence? And the man said, because I know. And she just took it on faith. And I'm like, lady, ooh.
I agree. We have good things. Trina had Portia looking out for her when she was arrested. Exactly.
Exactly.
Exactly. Portia doing something like illegal and unethical is why Trina wasn't in jail.
And that's what makes me so mad that Trina, and she admitted to it this week, that Trina
Finally.
always, and finally, always takes Curtis aside because Trina's mom has always been about Trina, and Trina turning on her own mother just really just like irked me. It continues to irk me.
Wait.
I'm sorry, brother man.
Brother man said, wait a minute. I'm an Aquarius man.
Why I gotta take this hit? I'm sorry.
Wait, because that's me talking about Libra men all day. So, you know, so sorry. But it
Are you
stands,
January or
unfortunately.
February? There's a reason. This is like if you're a January Aquarius, then this is not about you. It's only February.
We'll see. We'll see. You got to tell us, brother man. But we have, oh, so anyhow, we are seeing Trina to your point. So Trina is like all about her dad. So
Mhm.
she goes to Portia and basically says that, oh, I need that, like, show mercy. I need Isaiah to show mercy.
Mm-mm.
Curtis is out his mouth saying, I don't feel bad about this. He
No.
provoked me. I didn't do nothing wrong. But your daughter is like, show mercy. Show mercy to a man who said he does not feel bad for hitting me, for nearly ruining my career.
Mm-mm.
We don't, like, Isaiah doesn't know if he can operate again. And when Portia told him about the little boy, Curtis basically said, F them kids.
Right. And she's putting all of the onus of the fact that she's like, yeah, but I'm in the middle of this and the baby's going to be in the middle of this. So you got to do something about this, mom. Mom don't have to do anything. Your dad is the one that's causing all the trauma. Your dad is the one that puts you in the middle of this mess. Your quote unquote dad, because yes, poor Misery is right. Curtis is not her dad, not the real dad. Taggart, ugh. uh,
Yeah.
just like I can't.
Yeah, I mean, so she's doing this. We did talk about the scene. I really enjoyed it between Kai and Isaiah
Mhm.
because that was the first time that we really got to see Isaiah let go. He was like kind of irritated and agitated when he was talking to Portia, but it's clear he is trying to find like a balance in like how he
Mhm.
talks about it. But with
Mhm.
Kai, he can completely like be upset, not just about his own hand, but
Mhm.
about what's happening with his patient. And I
Mhm.
think that's a real key that they aren't making Isaiah like this selfish person, that he's really actually talking about, yo,
And the
like
fact that
this kid could die.
he owns up to the part that he played in it too.
Yeah.
And he's like, I shouldn't have let myself get caught up in this. And now there's this ramification. Curtis would never.
No. He don't care now.
He don't care.
So, so they have this conversation,
Mhm.
and so Kai is there, and then Trina has this conversation with Portia, and she sees Kai, and she's like, "Oh yeah," because Isaiah hurt his hand. Kai said, "Let me stop you. Let me back that up."
Mm-mm.
Curtis did not, he did not hurt his hand. Your dad hurt his hand. Your dad attacked him.
Your dad
Does not
assaulted.
matter if it was one punch. It doesn't matter how
Right.
many punches it was. The what happened is what happened.
Mm-hmm.
And so she really did have to like sit with that. And I
Mm-hmm.
appreciated the at the very least with her having this conversation with Gio, her having to admit that she has always, always sided with Curtis. She
Mm-hmm.
tried to slide in there like, well, that's what happened when you were like you know, uh you lied to your whole life. I also felt like it was weird because I wanted Gio and Trina to talk because I feel like they've had so much in common and so it made sense. But the way they had Trina kind of react to him, to me, I was like, I don't know if it's the direction or what. I want the scene to be about Trina
Mm-hmm.
and like for her to be talking to Gio about being lied to her whole life. It's like, yeah, he gets it.
Yeah.
Like he knows he gets it.
Right.
Um, yeah, I don't know. I don't know. How did you feel about her scenes with Kai, with both Kai and with Gio?
I think that I like I said before, I love that Kai basically pointed out to her that her dad ain't shit. And she actually heard it, internalized it. I don't know if it's gonna change her behavior. I think her recognition to Gio that she does always go to Curtis's side is admitting something that she does, but not necessarily changing her mind about how she's going to move going forward. It's just a recognition that I always go for my dad because I can't forget my mom lied to me my whole life. Girl, if you take in the fact that your mom has always been about you, if she lied about something significant, but you need to get over it because your dad ain't shit. Is she? I'm sorry. You need to get over that. And Portia will always be on your side. Um, yeah, and then he's not even your real dad. Your real dad is out there suffering and you don't give a damn. You
I wasn't ready. I wasn't prepared for that. But you are very correct. But this is also what I'm talking about. Like the same thing I talked about with Jocelyn, it's even worse with Portia, where they do not give her
Right.
anything. They don't give her backstory. They don't give her motivation. And so part of the reason that Portia is a better character away from Curtis is because she's allowed to be seen through eyes that are not just Curtis's. I saw
Mhm.
somebody talking about her, and it was funny because I was like, oh, the times are really changing. I saw somebody talking about her online, and people were all on her side. And then somebody was like, well, she's a liar, and and nobody liked it, no interaction with it. And I see that's what I'm talking about. That
Yeah.
like because she was with Curtis and because it was all about how Curtis saw her, we
Yeah.
had to like only talk about her being a liar.
Mhm.
They never gave an example of why she would lie. So we as an audience, people who paid attention knew about Curtis's like past addiction issues. It
Mhm.
could have been very easy for her to be able to have this to say, your addiction issues scared me. I found out about them and I thought that Taggart would be more stable for Trina. I may
Mhm.
have been wrong, but I don't regret giving my daughter a stable home.
Right.
That it doesn't even mean it's going to change 100% of the people's like mind about her, but it turns her into something that's not a robot.
Exactly.
And they don't do that for her. So we do have her, um, come see him.
Mhm.
And we have her say to him, hold the hell up.
Who are you to tell me? Okay, break it down though. I think you need to break down the story, what happened in the conversation before you get the reaction.
So, no, so Portia goes to see Curtis. It comes in hot.
Mhm.
And it's like, yo, what's up? Like, this is what you did. You are the reason that this kid can have this surgery. Portia had already gone to the Quartermains and like got it taken care of. And so he was acting like it didn't matter. He was like, F them kids. And maybe if he would have came to me earlier, I could have taken care of it. I could have got him a jet. And it's not my fault. It's Isaiah's fault. He shouldn't have da 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 da. And he provoked me. And I like that Portia told him, "You're a grown man. I could have
Right.
wrote like she was sounding like Tracy. Okay,
Yes.
you're a grown man. You do not get to hit another man because he said something to you." And she really let it out for him. I actually there are places that she could have gone further, but she
Mhm.
actually let it out for him and was like, Isaiah has been there for me when you couldn't. Because Carter tried to say, "Oh well, Isaiah can't be around my baby," and she said, "Oh, we playing them games? Then you need to think about other living arrangements because if we go in tit for tat, then Jordan can't be around my baby either. So now what?"
Exactly.
And he's like, "Oh well, we have this history," and that's the part where I wish she. I mean, Portrait is amazing. Brooke always is amazing, but I wish they would have let her go further because yeah, you have this history, and part of the reason that you have this history is because you've been having an emotional affair with your ex-wife forever.
Mhm.
Yeah, you have this history. You never stopped having this history. And it was weird because he said to her, me and Jordan predate you. From my understanding, if somebody can correct me in the comments, they don't. That was the point. That
Right.
Portia and Curtis predated him and Jordan. That they were
Exactly.
together, made Trina, she disappeared from him, he was doing life, and then got with Jordan. I could
Right.
be wrong. Because also we have like the TJ of it all, and uh, Jordan was with his brother, but I believe he was with Jordan before, or with Portia before Jordan.
Yeah, I think so too. Because I think, yeah, I think Jordan was with his brother before she was with him. Yeah.
Hmm.
So,
Yeah.
um, whatever.
I love this about because Curtis has had all this audacity.
Yeah.
He was talking. I'll say this, and then I want to hear about how you feel about both. Because Michael was like talking to him, and Michael was even trying to say to him, "This don't sound like enough evidence, bruh." Like,
And then, what you did was clearly an assault, and you're probably going to get charged. What are you going to do? Like, I can see that you're blaming the situation on Isaiah, but you're about to go to jail pretty soon if you don't get a proper lawyer.
mm-hmm.
So, but yeah, I loved how she threw back at, and then the funny thing Curtis tried to throw in is like, you're only with Isaiah because he comforted you because we got into a fight. He made Portia's every action about him. And I was like, she said, I turned to Isaiah because he gave me the love and respect that you couldn't, that you didn't. And that's why I'm sticking with him. That's why I'm staying loyal to him. And when I go to court, I'm definitely going to tell the truth of what happened. And he was just like, for Clemps, like, oh my God, somebody had have the audacity to not do what I want them to do. Total. I was just like, you are acting like Drew right now.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, he's just, the audacity is wild.
Mm-hmm.
So I was so happy. That's why I gave the part of performance of the week to Portia, because she basically read him like a book, and it was
Sure did.
perfect.
100%. I'm
Perfect.
gonna go through some of these these quotes or
Comment.
comments because I can't talk today. These comments because I missed them. First of all, Brother Man said he's a January Aquarius,
Thank
so
you. So
woo.
you passed the vibe check.
We have when the real driver is revealed, the real person at fault should be revealed too, which is Jordan.
Yes.
I just think that like this again is an example of when they refuse to tell a full story. If you would have really had a story where BOQ was drunk, if you where instead of one glass, if you would have had a story where somebody stopped or like literally saw the accident and didn't stop, but as we know the story, and even Michael said, "Oh yeah, she would have never done that. She clearly didn't know that
Uh-huh.
this like happened." What do you want from people?
Right.
Like, yeah, I agree.
If this goes to trial, and if Alexis was the lawyer, somebody would get on the stand and someone will be cross-examined, and it will come out that yes, we were actually making out when I should have been driving. And so the real, like, I have a feeling that Curtis is going to make an accident as part of his defense. And when that happens, they are going to go on stand and they are going to have to testify to the fact that they were not paying attention to the road and they actually caused the accident.
Come on.
Yeah.
We have a couple Taggarts, Justice for Taggart, bring Taggart back.
Yes.
Um, I we have Geo came in and set Trina straight. I mean, kind of. I think Kai did, like more
He
of the
did.
setting her straight. But yeah,
Yeah.
Geo was like, Geo
It's just
definitely
like,
was like, so tell me more, and like let her talk herself into it for sure.
yeah.
Um, and like I said, I'm glad that she finally admitted that she always gave her dad the benefit of the doubt. She also in that conversation was going back and forth between calling him dad and Curtis, which I thought was weird.
Mm.
Yeah. So here we got Kai gave Trina a reality check about what Baldhead Minutes did to Isaiah, and Trina and Kai conflict is going to continue about what happened to Isaiah currently. I agree. I mean, we already had Kai look at Curtis sideways for what he was doing with Drew, and none
Hmm.
of us agree with Kai, but this time it's different. People like
Yeah.
agree. Huh, this is a
Hmm.
little foul. You said I cannot wait for Laura or Lulu to tell Curtis he's absolutely wrong about Isaiah, particularly Lulu,
Hmm.
because Lulu knows. So we have Curtis talking to Michael like, well, Isaiah says he's with a patient, and Michael's like, yeah, he can't tell who the patient is. And then Curtis just sounds ridiculous. He's like, well, you could just ask the patient, and like, what? So I
It
do
was
want.
funny. It was funny when he was like, "Well, it's not like Isaiah is a mob doctor." I'm like, actually, he kind of is. He protected Sonny's, and he's doing, protecting Spencer. So, yeah, you don't know, dude.
Listen here. We know Curtis only listens to a certain type of woman, sadly.
Right.
If you know, you know.
Mm-hmm.
What's said, what's understood doesn't need to be explained. Um, Somebody is saying that Stella needs to come get her nephew.
Oh.
Unfortunately, I'm not sure that Stella will be on the right side of history here.
Someone had pointed that said that if Stella was in it, she would make it worse. Someone in the
Yeah,
comments. So that's very true. I think she would. She would double
yeah.
down on what Curtis wants.
hmm oh, I forgot about this. Portia had always had on her own. One of her first scenes was checking Carly about Trina being in proximity to the Corinthos household. I forgot about that.
Mm-hmm.
And then they like made it better or whatever. I was hoping that we would have like a little bit of a Carly Portia friendship, but
Mm-hmm.
you know, it actually goes to this comment from Port Misery. All the black characters are connected to Curtis, which is why he's the only one with the backstory. You're either married to him, related to him, or beefing with him. Your story is governed by that.
Sad.
100%. 100%. Okay. That feels like consistent with what people were saying. Oh, yes, absolutely. Sean was fine.
Mm-hmm.
Mm, bring him back. I also will never stop thinking how funny it was that Jordan was putting that scarf over her head.
Always. I'm like, what are you
Like,
trying to do?
and now
And
it looks
at the
like she
same
has just like a big gash right here. I'm like, is she not burned anymore? Like, what's going on?
it was always stitched up. But the
But
funny
it's
thing to me is every time they take off the stitches, her skin looks worse. I'm like, that's not how it works.
uh-huh. Mm-hmm.
uh,
Yeah. um, I also somebody said they miss Trina and Josh's friendship. I agree. She did say something this week about that. She was like, I would normally talk to Josh, but she's in Australia. So that
yeah, that was the
yeah,
reason that that Carly and Valentine came up with to explain Jocelyn's disappearance. Apparently, yeah.
yeah. And we got people who I also agree talking about how fine Zeke, Portia's brother was.
Can we talk about these scarves though? Because they are amazing. I need GH to drop the link of where we can get one. Thank you. Even though she's
You know, I do
ridiculously covering her head.
I do love a scarf. I do love a scarf. And so I also loved, again, when Michael came home and made that whole connection about Brooklyn being involved.
Hmm.
Um, but yeah, I thought Michael, they did not use him a lot this week, but the actual like running down of things with Curtis, like I said, Curtis's audacity was wild. And so at least Michael was there to rein some of it in. Like with Portia, I think it was completely correct that she needed to check him, but he wasn't gonna listen to it anyway. That was more cathartic for us.
Right.
But he wasn't even listening to Michael. And Michael was like, I don't know. And he says, he's like, I'm never gonna miss the birth of my child. You, I
You might
think that
actually
Portia
be
could
in
tell
jail.
you that you can't be in the room.
Exactly.
The way you behaving, you really are acting like it was completely okay that you putting hands on somebody.
Yeah.
Ooh, this is really good. Nikisha said, I want a scene where Josh tells Nathan that people will miss her. And he points out that she's distant from her friends, so they won't notice her absence, and Josh should reflect on all she gave up. I agree with that. I
Mhm.
think that they have really kind of taken the teeth out of that like young adult set. The people who are the most interesting actually are like Danny, Charlotte, and Rocco, and that's actually a problem. And I want for them, if those that young adult set is going to be there, then um they should be there. It shouldn't be so disjointed.
Mhm.
We also do have Trina's singing career. Y'all,
It sounded like she was talking herself out of having that singing career this week, so maybe it's not going to happen.
She has a lovely voice and she carry a tune.
Yes.
However, this idea that she's some sort of singing savant that needs a showcase by like famous record labels, that's not it. Like I literally turn on can scroll through TikTok and find like undiscovered talent that like this storyline would make more sense for. And
Right.
it then like isolates her and takes her away from what we have known her for, where she has actually always been into art, even in high school. And now, like, we're about to have a singing career and we've never heard her do that. The only time Trina has ever sung was at the nurses' ball. She's never even talked to her dad about singing at the Savoy.
Yeah, she had plenty of opportunity to talk about singing as a career choice, and she hasn't.
Like Savoy does live music. You could literally have a band who has like a lead singer, and
Yeah.
Trina's never done that. So it just, and this is no shade. Like I said, Tabiana is a cute girl. She has a nice voice, but we have not seen her perform in a way that would like justify Brooklyn being like, oh my God, it's so amazing. You need to whatever, whatever. And when Michael pointed out to Jacinda, she tried to kind of say something, but you know, all of Michael's evidence is Brooklyn is guilty. That's why she's doing this thing for Trina. Her car, her this, her that.
Mhm.
The Trina singing thing is the most absurd.
Yep.
And again, I want to be really clear. This is not about Fabiana. I think she's lovely. I'm talking about them comparing her singing, which is like not something that we even know her to be doing, with Geo, and like he's like, oh yeah, you sing the music, da, da, da. They are not comparable talents when it comes to music.
Oh no.
So I just don't get the forcing of this. I don't get why you would do something that takes her out of the story. She could literally be in a story right now with art and be helping Ava and Alexis, and she's not. That would connect her further into the show as opposed to like being on the periphery with this Curtis story.
Mhm.
And I was like reading a synopsis of the week or whatever, and the person was like talking about Kai. Um, I I thought it was weird, and I've seen people say that like he's trying to force her away from her dream and force her into singing. And I'm sorry, y'all, I don't see it that way. I think that what Kai is and was saying is Trina is telling me this is her passion or something that she's passionate about, and she is not doing it because she is so busy like trying to referee her parents.
Mhm.
I don't see it as him being like give away art because that was something that you did before me and go sing because that's what I know about you. I don't see that being like that's like what they're trying to like kind of make it seem like he's doing.
No, I saw it as just him being concerned that she's distracted by all this family stuff that she can't do what she wants to do. It could have been about art. If she was more focused about art, I think he would have said the same thing, that she's being distracted by her parents' shenanigans again versus
Hmm.
focusing on what she wants to do with her own life.
I'm gonna read what it said. Okay. Um, Vanishing Trina was like the header.
Mhm.
Um, what in the world are the writers doing to Trina? Trina was always the most grounded of the teens. She was wise beyond her years and full of passion and drive. She loved art almost as much as she loved Spencer, and she pursued a career in the field while she was still in high school. That's how she ended up working at Ava at the art gallery. Since Kai entered her life, Trina has slowly disappeared. She's becoming a supporting character in her own life because it's all about propping Kai. Suddenly, she's embarking on a music career that frankly feels more like a hobby that she stumbled into. This isn't Trina. This music stuff feels more like what Kai wants for Trina. If he really knew her, he'd know that art speaks to her soul in a way that I doubt music ever will. I just don't see it that way. I don't see Kai pushing her into this. I don't think that the art switch is like meant to be some character flaw of Kai. And if anybody is making Trina like a background, it's the way that they have her in all the story with her parents and not within her relationship.
Mhm.
Um and I will also say it's very tough for me um that I pointed out some of these flaws in Spencer and people didn't care. That like
Yeah,
people wanted that relationship so much that when they had like real issues that like are still reverberating across the board when it comes to how Trina is written, nobody wanted to talk about it because everybody wanted this, or not nobody. People, there were people who like got mad at us. I remember in our comments, people got mad at us because I was like, I don't know about this. And people were like,
yeah.
"You hate Sabrina. You just don't want them together. We're finally getting." I'm like, "That's not the case. I just want for Trina because we knew, you and I knew, oh, Nicholas ain't gonna be on the show forever.
Right.
And if they don't write for Trina in a way that makes sense for her, when he is gone, then there's not going to be anything for her." And now look at us.
Mhm. Well,
Trina sought out Ava. This is from Tara. Trina sought out Ava to get the job at the gallery. Now the writers are acting like it's a Foot Locker job that she's doing until her music career takes off. I don't think this is Kai. Um, then Emily said Kai is supporting Trina, or Kai supporting Trina is not pushy. And then, oops, this one, Coach. Okay, I specifically said this. So Coach was saying, "I'm with you, Tracy. As an educator, I was angry how dismissive Spencer was about her education." I said this about the first time they had sex basically because they went to New York. And they did this whole thing about him showing up to her dorm room early and being like, "Come on, you don't have to study. You could just go." And I was like, "Ooh, I don't know about this. This feels really yikes." Right? Like that young man who's rich and privileged is not in school, and he is like not sitting with Trina, which he could have done, right? He could have sat with Trina and been like, "Let's study, let's get this done so that we can go together and get you finished." And instead, he was like, "Nah, let's go." And I pointed it out, and people were like, "I came here to like be so happy about Sprina and their first time, and then you like put it down." And I get it. Like, I hate when people do that to my thing too. But when it comes to a character like Trina, like I'm always gonna say that. Same thing with Portia. Same thing even with Jordan. Is that I want Black women to last on this show, and the way they write them sometimes, the things I point out are the reason that they wouldn't last. So, um, yeah, I just didn't particularly care for it. Let's see. I thought I saw somebody else. I saw that lady post in Black her account. She hates Portia and Isaiah and Kai. Oh, okay. Well, that makes sense. Somebody said the article. I do know that she didn't particularly like Portia. And I think that that was common for people. And I do think that people are like a little shook now because I have said this before, women characters become more viable on a show once they have that love interest that people like. So people didn't particularly like Curtis and Portia.
Mhm.
And Curtis did all the things. She's with Isaiah, people like that relationship, and now Portia becomes more palatable for people. This is what happens. People didn't particularly care for Emma when she first came back.
All right.
Now she's with Gio. People like Gemma. You could take it back. People didn't particularly like Sam at first. Then
Mhm.
J Sam happened and she became, I always liked Sam from the moment she came on. So, this is the thing. And it also happens when you have someone like Trina who people like Trina anyway. Like I remember people were like excited because they were bringing Spencer on for Trina, and then they kind of disappeared her into that relationship. And I was like, yeah, yeah, of course we want her to have like a big love story, and she got magazine covers and all of that, and that's really important. And if they disappear her into a relationship, what happens when the relationship is not there? Here we are. Anyway, that is that for that. I think the only thing left that I wanted to talk about or ask you about was how do you feel about Christina going to med school? Sorry, I'm sorry I laughed. So you know how I feel.
And I didn't visibly laugh. I just snickered in my silently. Yeah. The only thing I wrote about it, I mean, even though I was kind of listening and not listening because I was watching this show at work, but I wrote down, I was like, I need them to explain how she got into medical school. And apparently, I guess she just started studying when she was in the hospital. But I'm like, they didn't explain how she got her undergraduate degree first. And then how she got her undergraduate degree, how she took the MCAT, and then she did the whole application process. That was a lot. She did it so she couldn't have done that within a year and a half. And somebody else was doing a commentary this week. Not only was she doing all these things, but she was plotting revenge against Ava. She was also causing an accident with Rick and Ava. She, got in a fire. She was doing a lot at the same time as going to getting herself ready to go to medical school. And the writers briefly talked about, or through Christina, briefly talked about how she hasn't focused on one career at all yet. And so she didn't think it was believable. That is not enough, writers. Y'all need to do more to explain how she graduated from PCU, how she was able to take the MCAT and do all these things while plotting revenge and doing everything else at the same time, planning memorials for a dead man who she barely knew, tennis memorials, putting together like a whole, bar after, recovering from it, and still running her community center. She was doing a lot. This girl was doing a lot.
Hmm.
Kidnapping some man and holding him hostage in the basement. That's when she took the time to study. When did she take the MCAT? When did it happen? Just like, it's crazy, wild. And so, yeah, I did not
Yeah.
enjoy it. I mean, there's
And
so
then
many
she's
different things that they could have written to write her out, and yet they
so
chose
many.
chose this wild medical school plot.
And it's had her say, like, I did it because they were nice to me at the hospital. Girl, the social worker is nice to you at the hospital. Be quiet.
Yeah, no. I mean, I get it because I recently had a surgery, and the nurses and everybody was great to me in the hospital, and I'll always appreciate that. But no, I'm not applying for medical school because of that.
No.
Because
Tara said to get into medical school, undergrad degree, required courses, right GPA, recommendations from faculty, MCATs, two separate essays, statement of purpose, and a personal statement. And apparently she
all
did
these
all of
things
that while
while doing
whatever
everything
else.
else. And then
I
I
do
want
want
to
to.
know what
Oh,
medical
sorry. Go
school
ahead.
accepted her to. Was it
Because
that
they sure
medical
didn't tell
school?
us. Wait, because you're gonna go be like, she's going to Johns Hopkins or whatever. Like it's
Right.
gonna be something stupid. It's gonna be really stupid.
Ah,
Um, I also want to go back because I know that people were saying this was not me like particularly talking down on this freedom relationship. What I'm saying is I didn't like the way in which they disappeared Trina into the relationship. And I think and this is just going back because I didn't address the comments and I don't
uh,
want, people might clip this, it is what it is, but I think that there were times that she checked him, but there were times that she had to stand by. And I particularly remember, I will actually never forget. Do you remember when they had Esme and Spencer doing that freaking photo shoot at the house after he like flaked on Trina for something with the baby?
I don't remember that.
I remember it very vividly because they had
Okay.
Ace and they would do all these pictures looking like a little family. And I'm
Uh-huh.
like, what was the purpose of this?
Oh.
What is the purpose of having Trina essentially look like the girlfriend to the baby mama when this wasn't even his kid? And so I just feel like there were times when she got him together, but there were also times when and I also think that was because some of the few times that she did get them together, people they were always scared about how she would look. Like we don't want her to be an angry black person. They never knew how to write her as a full character because they were always thinking about how the audience would respond to her, and so she ended up getting like she just ends up not being written as a full character, if that makes sense.
So people in
So
the
anyway,
yeah, people in the comments are saying that she got into UCLA, which again, I'm like
shut up.
upset about because UCLA don't treat medical school
First of all, that's a
applications like
really
that.
good. That's a very good school.
Yeah, if it was USC, then I can see because they take money and then whatever.
But
But
I don't even see
UCLA,
that. Not
yeah,
for her, because
right.
also her dad didn't get her into the school.
Yes, but we still haven't
But I
seen
don't even think. But I don't even think USC would let her in. Like
right
not for medical school. They may take. What I mean, I don't know anything
undergraduates.
about
They'll do
admission, but
undergraduates.
ain't nobody ever doing nothing shady for medical school.
Right.
This is why George W. Bush and them can go to Princeton, but they ain't going to grad. Like no,
No, they're not
this
going to
only goes
grad
so
school.
far.
Yeah. They'll do that for undergraduates because they need the money, but they won't do that for actual license to practice schools.
Sorry,
No.
saying UCLA is the number one medical school in the West. And they
Right.
said, yeah, Christina got in. Girl, good night. Good night.
Right.
Absolutely not. Um,
Maybe it was medical technician school. No, it was
maybe.
UCLA. So they said.
I don't think UCLA wouldn't let her through medical technician school.
I
UCLA would have said no. No, girl.
maybe she's
Even
going
if Sonny donated,
online.
they like, we got plenty of donations, actually. We good.
She's going to online medical school.
Even then,
This is not a
I think you
crack
gotta
on
have a
online school, y'all. Online
you I
school
think
is
you would have to
good.
have a bachelor's to get to online medical school.
Right. Yeah. I mean, any other degree, maybe, but medical school, y'all.
Nothing. Do you
Wild.
have any hot takes before we read for next week? We'll be here for a minute.
Did I share all my hot takes already? Let's see. Um, yeah, I think I did. I shared
I
it.
do have something about um Molly. Was it? I'm tired of
Oh,
Molly and quote Cody's story. They gotta find them something to do. That was it. Nah.
okay.
That was the only hot take. I'm tired of it. Like it's
I thought. I mean,
very.
I thought Molly and Cody's sex thing was just funny, funny side laugh. That's it. It was entertaining.
I was not entertained, but I hear you.
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
All right, y'all. We have been chatting. Next week, Monday, Nina visits Brendan at Turning Woods. Lauren and Sunny turn to Lucas. Rick advises Tracy. Dante confides in Liz. All right, we got some El Dante next week. Carly defends Lulu. Tuesday, Michael manipulates Willow. Elizabeth makes a confession. Cullum, aka Big C, delivers grim news.
Uh oh.
Nina makes her allegiance clear. Sidwell is blindsided.
What?
Wednesday, Lucas fears he said too much. Sunny lends a helping hand. Does he help Lucas? Carly demands answers. Chase receives an offer. Hmm. Tracy doesn't like what she sees. You think Tracy sees Willow and Chase together? There was a picture, I don't know if you saw it, of Willow and Chase for next week.
Oh.
Um. Anyway, Thursday, Nathan gets a tempting offer. Ethan, or it has Nathan in quotes, so Cassius obviously. Ethan receives a warning. Nina tries to talk sense into Willow. No, that's not gonna work. Chase faces off with Tracy. Oh, okay, maybe it is that.
Ooh.
Joss tries a new strategy. And finally, Friday, Ava challenges Ethan. Brooklyn enlists an ally. Alexis delivers happy news. Obrecht issues a warning. Laura gets a win. Tara said Nina and Brendan are the ultimate agenda ship for her. I need them to fall in love. Oh my god.
Okay.
And Emily is also saying that Nina and Brennan are something that she's interested in. I mean, I don't particularly like either of them, but whatever they want to do. Let's just all have a good time. I don't know. All right, friends. Thank you so much for joining us on this Saturday or early shift. We appreciate you. Please make sure to like, share, subscribe, tell a friend, buy us a coffee. It'll be in the description. I think somebody asked this and I meant to answer it. I will be at fan club weekend. I don't think Tanya's going. And Port Misery, I am dragging her to the Dom event. So she won't be there for anything else, but she is going to the Dom event. So yeah, that is what's happening. Y'all have a great rest of your weekend, and we will see you next week. If I can figure out how to end this.